it is still critical. It's still critical. You gotta have that network because the network is what builds your wealth over time. Just your abundance of help and resources that you can give to others. So
You are listening to And I Quote, a podcast focused on building relationships with insurance agents, brokers, their small business clients, and industry leaders. This podcast is presented by Coterie Insurance.
With your hosts, Brian Thomas, Director of Claims Experience, and Ann Boger, VP of Scaling, we will be exploring the power that connection, communication, and commitment can have on your business. Join us every Thursday for a new episode and topic that will provide key insights to help build your business, agency, and client relationships. And I quote.
Thank you for tuning in to our next episode of And I Quote. My name is Brian Thomas, here from Coterie Insurance, the Director of Claims Experience. But never mind that. Today, we are joined by two great guests. Brett Fulmer, also known as Broker Brett to all our InsurTech and industry friends. Along with Brett, we also have Trevor Hayes, an insurance broker of Advantis Insurance Services. I had practice with that.
That's perfect.
Advantis Insurance Services. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks so much for coming on with us.
thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So first things first, let's get a little bit of intros out the way. Broker Brett, if you can just introduce yourself, how you came to the industry, and how long you've been in it.
Yeah, I've been licensed for about 8 years, full-time around insurance for the past 5. Started my own brokerage about 4 years ago after a couple of goofy sales jobs, which led me to working with Fineo to get licensed throughout the country. I've been recruiting agents through Smart Choice. Actually, they're how I got to carriers originally. And then I advise a startup out in New York. So I keep myself distracted with a bunch of things. But throughout that whole time, I've been friends with Trevor. He's always had my back. When I'm in the weeds or if I can't figure out something, he's a local buddy. And you guys mentioned this being about relationships, so I thought who better to bring
on. Beautiful. And where are you located, Broker?
Costa Mesa, so right behind John Wayne Airport in Orange County for anybody that's familiar. Luckily, live and work, 5 minutes from the office, so hopefully those gas prices won't be too bad right now.
We were talking about those gas prices right now. They are not fun. But you're close to the beach, though, right?
Yeah, 3 miles. Yeah, no, I can't complain. Yeah.
So that you can make it a beautiful remote office over there.
Exactly.
Awesome. Welcome, Broker Brett. Trevor Hayes, if you can give us an intro on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Trevor with Advantis Insurance. I'm a personal and commercial lines insurance producer. I've been doing this for about coming up on 8 years. Brett, looks like me and you might have been in the same licensing office, maybe. So yeah, just been basically on the brokerage side since the beginning. No interesting start off with any of the big names, State Farm, AAA, none of those guys. I entered in straight as a broker. One of the most unadvisable routes you could possibly go, probably. And no industry experience prior to that. So really just came from a sales background, just wanted to find a way to take care of people a little bit better, and just found that the industry is full of pretty awesome people like you guys. And so I met Brett at a Broker Brews that he was hosting, and it was just pretty awesome just rapping with him ever since then.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome to know that you guys have been friendship and partnership. And even though you guys are in the same industry, maybe even having the same clientele, you're able to come together and kind of build and cultivate that relationship. That's pretty awesome. Good to hear. You mentioned a good point, Trevor, that I wanted to kind of speak about. So when you look at a sales background, which is what you came from previous, how did you take certain aspects of a sales relationship between, I guess, finding a solution and the customer with doing the same thing in the insurance industry?
It's just talking to them, building the relationship, finding out what it is that they're looking for. I mean, we're all people, right? We all need to buy certain things. I hate to say it, but insurance is oftentimes one of the non-negotiables in life. You're encountered with whatever it may be. You got a contract that says you don't get this contract unless you buy insurance, and so you go get it. Or if you don't drive without auto insurance, there could be some problems outside of hurting people. The cops probably wouldn't appreciate that either. So all it really is taking something that they're already going to buy, and how do you make it easier for them and just, I don't know, essentially become a friend. hate to say it, but a lot of this is just relationship based. So you're just developing just kind of a friendship in a way, as someone that they know they can trust.
And then to piggyback on what Trevor's saying, so I lost a job like almost 4 years ago, decided to start a brokerage. And I thought it'd be really clever and sell into the cannabis space and the cyber insurance space because I saw they were growing. Turns out you call somebody about cyber insurance that's not your current client, they're going to call their broker. And either people were super kind of white collared up and had their insurance in cannabis, or they weren't very interested. Trevor's like, hey, dummy, like, why don't you go sell insurance people have to buy? Why don't you look for things that are required in contracts and necessary? I was like, oh yeah, it's a great idea, Trevor. I'm going to work on that. So I think it's utility.
Kind of
I
finding
think that's where we
the
start.
needs of the customer before they know what they need, right? And that comes through with the building of relationship, the conversation, just finding out who is that person, what drives them, especially when you're talking about business relationships. So how have you both built your businesses or sales funnels and formed general relationships with your potential clients within the insurance industry?
Well, and I think we could kind of do a dichotomy here where I may have struggled versus where Trevor has really excelled on the traditional insurance side. I've had a lot of fun touching a lot of things. I've sold literally group benefits, individual health, life insurance, commercial property casualty, personal property casualty, literally all sorts of verticals. I catch all these random policies. And it's been good from an experience standpoint, from an advisor, from a startup standpoint, really cool. But in terms of building a business, candidly, not quite as effective. I have a book of business. I have an LLC I'm proud to have, but I've got a lot of growing to do there. And Trevor, not to speak for you, but to tee it up, you've always been BNI, traditional networking group, friends and family, pound those relationships. So yeah, if you don't mind, like how have you...
Ways. That's kind of the cool part about this industry is like, it's dealer's choice. I mean, what do you want to do to build your business, and where do you see yourself going in a number of years, right? So there's a lot of people who are great doing cold calls. Not for me. I can't do that. I learned that right from the beginning. There's a lot of people who, they'll go and set up a specific contractor shop, and then that's all they're doing is contractors. I mean, you know that, Brad. We got plenty of friends that, are specialized in certain niches. You have people who just specialize in personal lines. Maybe they go work at an auto dealership and develop a relationship there, and then they create the sales funnel through the dealership. Pretty much every agent has the choice to do whatever they want, assuming, the geographics and everything kind of align with that. But networking was my route. I got super involved right in the beginning with multiple chambers of commerce, just locally. And not directly to make sales. I mean, that was the goal, is to build the relationships. But I was just blown away with all these different businesses, small businesses coming together and just talking and helping each other and, having some fun along the side. And then I kind of amped that up, and then you start going into specific referral groups directed for networking, like BNI. We have a lot of agents who are interested in LaTip. There's hundreds of them out there, right? But it's just finding the right group and the right fit for you with the right people. Again, it's all people. It all comes down to, are you enjoying who you're working with? Do you want to see these people every week? If you don't, then probably find someone new, find a new place or place to network. But I don't really think any way that you can go about the insurance realm or the insurance industry, you can look away from relationships. There's no way that you're going to get away from that. You have to be someone who likes other people at the end of the day.
Totally. So I want to actually draw in a little more detail on what you said, Trevor, in terms of how you're starting conversation with these different individuals or entities. I know that you both are very active on social media. So can you speak a little bit about how that has maybe changed or helped accelerate your business?
I've gone directly in person. I like to see the people. I like to actually, create the in-person experience, or, Zoom now these days. I mean, the world has shifted a little bit in the way we're doing things, but, social media, it's for me more of a just way to stay connected and also see what other people are doing, so you are somewhat caught up with where they're at in life. It's so easy to forget and not see where a person's at when you don't get to go see them every week, or maybe their business has gone fully virtual and you can't stop by and meet them at their office or whatever way you would be used to doing it. That's my method of using social media. I know Brett has a totally different take on it. He definitely has more of the insurance influencer kind of thing going for him, and he's doing a great job at it. So I'd be curious to hear Brett's insights on it.
Yeah, I'll be completely candid. I realized early on the Broker Brett thing was good industry facing, but the clients could give a rip. They don't care.
Yeah.
Is it as least expensive as it can be? Will it do what it needs to be when I need it? Trevor is on social media. Like he said, he can keep an eye on his clients on social media, but you're not expecting really to earn business through social media. I think for a company like Coterie, you create value for your agents, agent facing, super beneficial. I think it allows doors to open. I think me talking about insurance on my own Instagram, Twitter, whatever else, makes it more familiar. But I usually still have to ask my friend for that life insurance opportunity or that small business opportunity. I don't really expect anybody to come try to talk to me about insurance. The only way I could see it sort of working would be to super niche down to a specific industry, like my friend Ed was trying to do with auto, like the Talent guys try to do with the client-facing, portals to a specific vertical. But outside of a niche, I wouldn't expect people to try to work with us. But I do expect social media to make it a little bit easier to walk through the door when it's time to have that conversation. Yeah. Trevor, correct me if I'm wrong, but business to consumer, I feel like you want to look active on social media. You want to have consistent presence. It's important to be available. But business to business, I feel like you could have a little bit of an older website, whatever else. You kind of more have to go hunt and mine those clients over time and have niche expertise to win their business. It just depends which side of the house you're living on.
Honestly, I feel like social media is a good way to just stay present in front of people so they don't lose sight of you, right? You don't necessarily have to market. I mean, I don't think I've ever done a single direct insurance post to consumers. I can't imagine doing that, just going in directly for the ask. You got to give a lot. And so, unless you're developing content that is really there to help people, which you can do through a good website, you can do through connecting with other businesses that might help them or other referral partners that might help them. I would say, you got to be cautious on how much direct advertising or how you could use your social media to directly target people, because it could be construed, in the opposite side where things don't look as good. It kind of makes you look cheesy if you don't do it with a little stride. You gotta look good if you're gonna do that, and so there's got to be a game plan involved. And so for a carrier, Coterie does a great job. They put themselves out there, they look good, and they're going directly for the agent who is looking for companies to do business with, and they make it look clean. They give the value prop. Agents doing that to consumers, it can be a little tougher. What I've always found worked is using social media as the catalyst to meet other referral partners, other people doing business. They talk about what they do. That attorney is talking about their practice. How can I get involved and get in a conversation with them? Social media has always been really to connect and create that friendship again with referral partners who will bring in business and who you can give business to. Because then there's no sales. You're really just working together. Makes it so easy.
Totally, and that's something that we truly strive on here at Coterie as well. To your point, Trevor and Brett, is that kind of working together with folks in the industry, right? If there's something that Coterie does well, why not share? And if there's something that another company does well, why not share? Right? We're all trying to be in benefit of our, what I call internal and external customers. Internal customers, the people we work with day in, day out. External customers are the people that, our product, our sales folks who we're selling our product to or giving the service of ourselves. No, guaranteed. Which brings me to another point. So what are certain recommendations? Because both you guys obviously are industry leaders. So what sort of recommendations do you give to folks that are trying to kind of build that professional networking presence or that professional partnership? What are some recommendations or advice you can give out?
For at least for insurance, it may kind of, every industry is a little different, but I found a lot in professional services, really networking within your industry is a critical aspect, and it's a missed opportunity. Especially for a lot of newer agents or newer people in professional services, they think that there's so much competition out there and they have to try to grab as much as they can. They want all the clients when it's really a lot of vast opportunity out there. That's the biggest thing I met actually when I got to go to Broker Brett's Broker Brews. I mixed them up, Broker Brett, Broker Brews. Uh, but really, just networking with other insurance agents. I found more opportunity through there than a lot of direct meetings that I've had with clients or trying to get people on my own. Honestly, just meeting other insurance agents who have specialties in other areas, maybe work in different states, maybe different countries. I mean, I just sent a referral out to someone in Dubai, and they're sending something out to me. I mean, just weird stuff that you don't think about if you're closed-minded and not trying to look at the big picture of just helping the client and developing a really, really wide and large network. That's one side, and then I kind of have thoughts on the other side where it's, you develop your own professional circle.
You are yourself in the situation. We all have our natural defaults. And so we have Broker Brews, which is unformatted. I say it's you're like trench buddies. It's people going through a similar slog and you're just talking. It's not programmatic. There's no referrals that you need to get done or whatever else. So to a fault. So where might need to get more organized and go participate in a B&I, be a little bit more structured and proactive. And vice versa, people who are always transactional, who by nature want to be buttoned up and tight, there may be some benefit to them letting down their hair once in a while and having a full conversation, being a full person within reason. We shouldn't go into all the minutia with these random professional buddies, but you still got to be a human. I just say consistency. I'm a part of Insurance Nerds, super proud to be in that community and just try to day in, day out, try to make sure we have a decent routine for Broker Brews. The worst thing you could do is kind of get loud when you need something. You sort of got to earn the points ahead of time. And have the chips ready to cash in, and same thing like asking for a deal if you need the help, like be a part of the community ahead of time to where the help is almost a given, where people are happy to be there for you.
And I love the idea of leveraging technology and leveraging these different professional networking platforms or social media, but not getting away from the human element. I mean, in so many ways, 2022, right? We are so technologically advanced that, sitting here with my phone, I can book a flight, I can get some food, I can have anything shipped to me, I can send some money around the world. But that human element is something that we need to kind of make sure that we don't get too far away from in this remote world that we're kind of being in right now. Such a valid question.
Brian, I'm curious. Can I toss the question back to you? Because I've always wondered. So, I mean, on the agent experience, right, we're always connecting with the clients, maybe connecting with referral partners, but either way, we're focused on getting them the insurance policy. But at the end of the day, the claims have to perform. And you said you're in charge of claims experience, and those two words can go either really good together or really bad together. So it is super important. How are you networking on your side? Like, what are the important connections for you? Because yours isn't necessarily bringing in the business per se. It is focused on essentially the insurance company's bottom line or top line and the management of it and the customer experience. So how does networking and just relationships come into what you do?
How dare you flip the script on me, Trevor?
My bad, but I'm curious, and so
I kid. I totally kid. It's it is such a phenomenal question. Thank you so much for asking it. But yeah, just like we said before, when somebody purchases an insurance policy, it's literally a PDF, right? That's all. They're just getting pieces of paper that don't really come into play until a loss happens. Right? So with that, the one thing that we are strong on our side is the quickness of communication. We strive to make contact within 24 hours. Most of our contacts are made within 3 or 4 hours of the claim being reported, but we strive to try to make contact within 24 hours. Setting up information and trying to set the groundwork of this is what I need, this is what we're going to do, this is how we come to a conclusion. Now, when I say conclusion, I don't want to always say that it's always indemnification, meaning a payment coming out, because there's certain exclusions on a policy, there's certain endorsements where there may be coverage for a certain loss and there may not be. But the communication is the key. So many times we have claims that we have to deny or maybe even disclaim that we've been so communicative with the individuals that they give us a positive survey because they were communicated to, they were edified, and they now understand more so about their policy that they may not have before. Because people get that PDF doesn't mean they read it. They should. And I know we three do. When I stepped into the insurance industry, the first thing I did was I went over all of my policies and I increased my limits because I was like, I didn't have enough. 16 years ago, that's exactly what I did. But experience is so key because once again leveraging technology as well. So one thing that we do here is we leverage technology for our telephony system. So how we speak to people, meeting them where they are. We use text message a lot because that's how people communicate nowadays. So we speak to our insurers and claimants via text message, and then even for payments. I mean, the one big thing when I started here at Coterie that I brought up was we have to do what we can to send less paper checks. I find paper checks as an annoyance, a kryptonite in the insurance industry. Not to say that you have to get rid of it, but one of the big things that we do here is virtual outbound payments. So we do direct to debit, we do direct deposit, meeting the customer where they are. Who the heck uses checks anymore? It's 2022. But that's how we kind of network and kind of build relationships and kind of laying the groundwork with regards to claims experience. Because to your point, that's what matters. Broker Brett, I had a question for you. So you're talking about the Broker Brews. Big fan, big fan. I'm more of a pills guy. I know that's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine joke, but talk to me about planning those events and essentially what you're trying to get out of those networking events.
It's a great show. Great question. So 5 years ago, maybe, I had grown up around an office moving company, sold commercial relocations for 6 years, and just saw insurance as a better long-term industry. A friend recommended it. I go to a Aliso Viejo insurance meetup. I don't know, just trying to get my head around the industry. Bring a friend, try to keep the energy level up. I get an email from the lady 2 weeks later. Hey, I can't run this group right now. I need you to take it over. I messaged her back like, lady, I'm trying not to get fired from a day job that I'm not very good at right now. I don't think I need to be running a insurance group. We flip it to an InsurTech, Orange County InsurTech meeting, and nobody shows up. There's like one friend, one other person from Apogee comes out, my friend Ryan Wakely. So for 6 months, there's literally 2 to 3 of us. Awkward. It's like a mandate. It's me and this guy from Apogee who I never met before at a yard house by ourselves. My friend Ryan is very good at marketing, is clever. Trevor knows him, Ryan Wakely, Commercial Management Insurance Solutions, plug for Ryan. He calls it Broker Brews, been super fun ever since. For consistently, we're around 20 people, put it on Meetup, put it on Event Helper. Every other month seems like a good cadence. Every month is a lot. Once every 3 months, you can't keep the relationship up enough. We push each other on LinkedIn, nothing fancy, no charge. What Ryan likes about it is you kind of get to know people before working with them. You're not obligated to give a lead out or something. And it's just been a real low-lift experience. When the guys have been out from Toronto, it's been awesome to bring, my startup buddies from Fineo to Broker Brews. I know Spencer from Smart Choice is itching to get out and hang out with us. Just a real down-to-earth hang. And I think it's totally fine to have an agenda. It's totally fine to have asks. It's fine to have a need. But you can't always be in that gear. And it's just a good place to build a camaraderie, hang out with Trevor.
You're speaking my language. I'm super jealous I'm on the other coast because I would be there right with you. I really would. Trevor, this question's for you, bud. So how valuable, Broker Brett obviously let us know about the in-person networking and versus online, right? So how valuable do you think that in-person networking truly is for the insurance industry?
Gotta have it. You gotta have it. So, okay, so when I went, it was, I don't even really know why I went. I saw it on Meetup. I'm just like, you know what? I want a beer. And, at the very worst, I can at least talk a little smack, with some people in my industry who know what we deal with and kind of go through. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. So, and it was the mold remediation guys. They just said it's really mellow. So I took their word on it. I showed up and Brett just instantly connected me with everyone. I just saw that the intention was pure. When you go there, the goal is really just to create camaraderie and just friendship among others. So that group has been a catalyst for me to learn a lot of things. That's what got me introduced to Coterie, along with a lot of other different insurtech companies. Then you get to talk to others about ideas, what's working, what's not working. So that's inter-industry networking. I think the in-person component it's important. But again, as we've seen, it's changed a little bit, right? We're now connecting. Me and Brett are over here on the on the West Coast, and you're on the East Coast, and we get to have this conversation that it was a little less common a couple years ago. This was not as not as normal, and we wouldn't do this on, a weekly basis or a monthly basis. So I think the in-person aspect has changed that definition of it, but it is still critical. It's still critical. You gotta have that network, because the network is what builds your wealth over time. Just your abundance of help and resources that you can give to others. So it's not going anywhere. I think that human element's not going to disappear, and that's what makes insurance a pretty cool industry, because it's heavily based on networking. And I think if you can do it well, and you have the right intentions, it all works out. Like, there's no way it doesn't work. You just got to be nice. So simple.
So much. And you know what? Thank you to our listeners out there listening to And I Quote podcast, emphasizing the importance of building trustworthy relationships that can help grow your business through educational conversations with independent agents, small business owners, industry leaders, and experts. Always, this podcast is brought to you by Coterie Insurance. Coterie Insurance is simplifying small business insurance agents through brokers and partners. Do not forget to subscribe to And I Quote podcast so you can get notified when we have a new episode release.